Good day, friends. This is Demola Awoyele, welcoming you to another life-changing episode of Leaders Arise. Leaders Arise is aimed at equipping you with principles from God's Word that will help you to be a better leader, and of course that will increase your productivity in all areas of your life. I want to appreciate you for being a part of this broadcast since inception. And if you are just joining us for the first time today, it is my hope that you will find this broadcast rewarding and of course life transforming. Today I want to open up a line of discussion that will likely last for some episodes in this Leaders Arise, possibly today, next episode, and 2 to 3 episodes to come. And so it's a major aspect of leadership that I believe that you have got to understand as far as your productivity in life and in leadership is concerned. Now I want to talk about let me just give you an idea of what I want to talk about. I want to talk about multitasking. I want to talk about delegation. So I'll be teaching you what multitasking really is, why you need to multitask as a leader. Then the other side of it is delegation, because they are all intertwined. So I want to begin today by discussing on multitasking. Now, when you talk about multitasking, that word alone already explains itself. Multitask. All right, because leadership is a task. It's an assignment. All right. A leader will always have something to do. So leadership is a task, and in the midst of the task of leadership, there will be several tasks. All right. Several activities, several things to be done. You know, in my years of teaching leadership and leading practically, this question always comes to fore when I relate with people. They keep asking me, Pastor Demola, how do I manage my time? You look at what I've just said now. So in multitasking, you're talking about managing time. But I'm not really talking about time management today. Maybe I'm talking about it, but not just to talk about manage your time, to teach you how, how you can multitask, and which will invariably help you to manage your time. Maybe I will need to submit to you very quickly that there is nothing as time management. There can only be what I call life management. You know what it means to manage something? It means to determine if you want to spend it or if you don't want to spend it. You know, if I have $1,000 or Naira note in my pocket, I can manage it in the sense that I will decide whether I will spend it, keep it, or I will decide how much of that money I can spend. But you and I know that talking about time, you don't have a choice. Whether you spend it or not, time will spend itself. Permit my usage of words. What I'm saying in essence is that everybody has got 24 hours. So whether you do something with it or you decide to keep it, time will keep running. So you will agree with me with what I just said now, that there is really nothing as time management. There is only what I call life management. And what does that mean? That you manage yourself, you manage your life within the time that you have got. Because the truth of the matter is, everybody has got an equal amount of time to become whatever it is they want to become. The rich has 24 hours. In fact, the rich cannot be so rich that he or she has more than 24 hours. I've never seen a rich man that has 27 hours or 6 hours, as the case may be. And the poor cannot be so poor, all right, that he or she has 22 hours or 23 hours. Maybe one of the fair deal that God gave every human being is a fair deal of time. Whether you are rich or poor, whether you are successful or a failure, whether you are a leader, positional leader, or a non-positional leader, no matter who you are, everybody has got 24 hours. So it suffices to say that you are what you had today because of what you did with your time. And you are going to be who you become tomorrow, in the next couple of years to come, with what you are doing with your time. All right, you can't have more than 24 hours, and I can bet it with you can't have less than 24 hours. So if there is a principle or wisdom, all right, that will help me, all right, to achieve more within the limit of the 24 hours I have in a day, I think that principle is worth learning. All right, and I call that the principle of life management, meaning that you want to manage your life within the brevity of time that you have got. You want to manage your activities. You want to manage your schedule within the brevity of time that you have got. So this is where multitasking actually comes in. I've been a strong advocate of multitasking for years now, because it is my opinion that if you really want to be a great leader or you want to be a superachiever, you must understand the place of multitasking, and you must leverage this principle of multitasking to achieve faster results, better results, greater results. So when we talk about multitasking, we are talking about being able to manage or handle different tasks at the same time. Being able to do so many things at the same time. Now, I'm not going to confuse you today, because some of you have been taught that, all right, you must not be a jack of all trades, master of none. Very true. All right, you don't have to do everything. That is true. You don't have to do so many things. That is true. In fact, I've been taught in leadership that the more you streamline your activities, all right, the better you get, or the better your results in life and leadership. But my emphasis actually today is not negating that kind of teaching, which I also have taught over time, but it is to let you know, all right, that life actually is about multitasking. Now, the truth of the matter is, a lot of people, or some people, are wired better to multitask, because I need to quickly come in on that before I start discussing how you can be a multitasker. Some people are wired better to multitask. They can do so many things at the same time. Why some other people, you can simply call them a monotasker. All right, so there are multitaskers, there are monotaskers. What do I mean by monotaskers? Permit my usage of words. These are people that don't have, maybe I would say, the capacity or the wiring to do so many things at the same time. In fact, a lot of people, some people, maybe I will not say a lot, maybe a lot of people or some people, they don't know how to do so many things at the same time. In fact, to them, until they face one task, all right, and finish it, all right, and bring it to a logical conclusion, they can't move to another task. Maybe you are like that today, and you are watching this broadcast today. I'm with you, because some people are like that. All right, they cannot manage so many things at the same time. But you will agree with me that kind of posturing or that kind of wiring may not have helped you too well over time. Because whether you like it or not, you will always come to a juncture in life and leadership that a lot of stuff will be beckoning for your attention. A lot of activities, a lot of equally important tasks will be at your disposal for you to actually engage yourself with them. All right, so my job today, all right, is actually to help you over there that might be thinking you are not a multitasker, to help you to unleash or release that capacity to multitask. Now, this is not to say that I will change your wiring. This actually meant that I am going to help you develop capacity or develop the skill. Now, don't forget, one of the things I've always emphasized in these leadership teachings is the fact that, all right, leadership, all right, can be learned. And multitasking is about leadership also. Leadership can be learned. One of the disservice you can do to the subject of leadership is to make an irrational or a quick conclusion that some people are only best for leadership, while some other people, they cannot be leaders. Once you assume that, or you agree to that statement, it will kill your capacity to develop your leadership. So you must convince yourself that even if you are not a naturally born leader or a natural born leader, all right, since leadership can be learned, meaning that the principles that make for effective leadership can be learned, it means that no matter who you are, you can actually emerge into the leader that God has ordained you to be. And so that is what I'm emphasizing today, that you may not be a multitasker by wiring, but you can be a multitasker by learning. And that is why we are on Leaders Arise today, so that maybe this broadcast will help you to learn a few things that will make you to unleash that capacity to multitask. So I will say very quickly before I continue that sincerely, and I'm sorry to say, that if you are not a multitasker, either of two things will happen to you. Number one, you may not achieve as much as you should have achieved or you could have achieved. Number two, if you are not a multitasker, you will end up being a snapper. What do I mean by being a snapper? You snap at almost every whatever that comes at you. It can be a wife at home. All right, I will still get to all that. I'm just getting excited at this teaching today. You just snap at, because whether you like it or not, life will throw stuff at you. Whether you like it or not, a lot of demands are going to be made on your little time, maybe on your little strength and energy. Whereas wisdom demands that you put them where they belong. There are some activities you say no to. There are some activities you run away from. There are some activities you pass on to other people. I'll be talking about that during this series. But you and I know there are some activities, even if you want to pass them to others, it behooves on you that to handle them. There are some activities you cannot pass to others. I'll be talking about all that. I'm just excited today. What am I saying in essence is this: multitasking is a major skill or lesson or learning that anyone that, number one, must improve his result or increase his result of productivity must learn. Then number two, anyone that does not want to be frustrated. I've seen people complaining. I've seen pastors complaining. I've seen business executives complaining. I've seen wives at home, husbands at home complaining. I've seen well-meaning people, very sincere, very decisive, very committed, but I've seen them complaining. What are they complaining about? Oh, this tasks are too much. Oh, what I'm to undo is too much. Oh, I have to attend to mails. I have to meet with clients. I've got to do this, I've got to do that. A pastor can say, well, I've got messages to prepare, I've got counseling to do, I've got this to do, I've got that to do. A wife at home can say, I've got children to take care of, I've got the dishes to make, I've got cooks to food to cook, I've got to attend to my professional life or career life, I've got to attend to my work with the Lord. You and I know that, you see, a wife that wants to be successful cannot jettison any of these. They are legitimate demands. But can you now imagine a wife telling herself, me and me one, because that's why I salute wife. Sometimes a wife can be cooking in the kitchen, or a wife taking one mind or eye to look at the baby. Sometimes the baby cries or the baby needs attention. The wife has to leave the baby, leave the kitchen, goes to the baby, and sometimes she receives a phone call, or while she's doing all that, and that phone call is something or whatever she needs to attend to. That is multitasking in action. So let me not run ahead of myself. So I've just said shortly or very quickly, all right, that life is about multitasking. If you are not ready to multitask, either of two things will happen. You will limit how far you can achieve in life. Then number two, you probably will live a frustrated life, meaning that life can be frustrating. I don't want to say life will frustrate you. It will look as though they can be very. I've seen people say, Pastor, it is very frustrating. Working in that company is frustrating. The month of August has been very frustrating. What did they mean by frustrating? A lot of things were coming from left, right, and center, and they couldn't just handle them. So my job today, like I said, I'll be rounding up shortly, is to help you to learn the skill of multitasking. So let me just go straight to my teaching very quickly, because I've just done some introduction. Now, one thing I want you to understand about multitasking is this. Every human being actually has the capacity to multitask. Even though we are going to multitask at different level, all right, but can I announce to you, and I will explain myself very quickly, every human being, and I mean it, every human being, including you that you are watching or listening to this broadcast now, you have been wired to be a multitasker. And I will tell you why. The reason is simple. Your brain has been wired to multitask. How many of you have got a computer system, all right, with you? Maybe a laptop, maybe a desktop, even the phone, all right, the handset in your hands. You and I know how you multitask with it. Am I correct? Sometimes you are Facebooking, all right, you are listening to message, you are doing so many things at the same time. All right, you are saying that is computer, that is a phone, it's not human being. Can I shock you? All right, the brain of an average human being has much more capacity than the computer system or the phone or whatever. I'm telling you, the capacity to store information, all right, maybe it's in trillions of gigabytes or whatever you want to call it, all right, the capacity to store information. I'm not even talking about to store information alone. I'm talking about the capacity to handle so many things. And the second thing I want to say very quickly is that you are already multitasking. It's just that you don't know. Because the purpose of learning really is to help you to channel maybe what you are already doing, to help you channel it better, maybe to help you to get conscious, because some of you are doing so many things you are not even conscious of. Like I told you when I was discussing about the anatomy of influence, you're already influencing whether you know it or not. So how does leadership come in? Leadership will now help you to be conscious of your influence, to channel it appropriately, then of course to maximize it. So leadership teaching like this is not, I'm not teaching you to make you a person of influence. You are already a person of influence. I'm teaching you, number one, to make you conscious of your influence. Number two, to help you channel your influence correctly. Number three, to help you multiply or maximize your influence. So what am I saying today? You are already a multitasker, even if you didn't know. Maybe as you are connected to this broadcast now, you are doing some other things right now. Maybe you are sorting out your table, your desk. All right. Maybe you are listening to the audio. All right. While you are pressing your phone to do some other things. Maybe you are watching the TV. I don't know what you're doing. But whether you like it or not, maybe you are multitasking as you're doing. In fact, you may not even be doing things with your hands, maybe like pressing phone or doing other things, but maybe you are thinking of something else as you are listening to this teaching. You are thinking of Pastor Demola's clothes. You are thinking of Pastor Demola. Maybe it may not even be me you are thinking about. You are thinking about some things. It's amazing how you can be going on the road. All right, you're going on the road. Your mind is thinking on so many things at the same time. I don't think, except if that person has a mental problem. All right, but an average person that is sane, that has his sanity, is thinking of a lot of things at the same time. So at the level of the brain, your brain has been wired to multitask. Number two, your brain is already multitasking. Now, on the level of activities, you have also been wired to multitask. Then most importantly, you are already multitasking. I need you to challenge me on that. Say, Pastor Demola, I'm not multitasking. I'm not multitasking. I'm a one task someone. All right, I'm a one task somebody. I'm the type that once I put beans, sorry for this explanation, once I cook beans on the fire, and the beans should take, maybe some of us that cook with the traditional whatever, the beans will take 2 hours. I'm the type of person that will go and take seat and wait until the beans get done. I'm sure you don't do that, do you? Sometimes you are cooking beans or whatever food for that matter, your clothes is inside the washing machine. Do you understand? You're cooking beans, you're checking your work as a student, you're cooking, you're doing some. The truth of the matter is, don't let anybody deceive you and don't be deceived. You are already a multitasker. So as I begin to wrap up this teaching today, my job actually is to help you to maximize your ability to multitask. And I'll give you a few things you've got to do. I have just about 5 minutes or so to round up to maximize your ability to multitask. Number one, maybe I've said that before and I'm saying it again, convince yourself. All right? I've said that before and I will say it again, you are already a multitasker. So I'll give you a few reasons or principles, all right, things that can help you, all right, to be a multitasker. So don't forget that you're already, all right, a multitasker. So my job today, like I said, is to help you to maximize that capacity to multitask that you already have. So I'll be giving you just a few things, like I said. Number one, understand that you're already a multitasker, because the moment you tell yourself, I cannot multitask, you are shutting down that capacity. So understand that you are a multitasker and be conscious of that. All right. So when a lot of demands are thronging at you, particularly the ones you are supposed to attend to, just tell yourself, I cannot do it. Yeah. Now that's why I put that caveat, the ones that you know you are supposed to attend to. Obviously, everybody knows that you can't attend to everything. I'll still be talking about that. But the ones you know you can attend to. You can attend to your baby while at the same time cooking. You can attend to that. All right, you can attend to it. So you keep telling yourself, no, I can handle this. All right, I can handle this. I've been wired to handle this. And that's the number two things to do. The number three thing to do, all right, is to practice multitasking intentionally. All right, intentionally practice multitasking. How do I mean? Begins with your brain, because your brain already has the capacity to engage your brain in so many things. All right, don't be a unidirectional person, somebody that always thinks about just one thing. And there are people like that, and they can't make for effective people. Can you imagine your boss at work telling you, Mr. Demola, what about that file that I told you yesterday? Oh, I forgot it. I wasn't even thinking about it. That's not a good thing to say. So it means that while you are working on a project, you start thinking about another project. Do that intentionally. Do that intentionally. All right. While you are watching the TV, why not take a newspaper and be reading? Some of you even do it normally, even without me saying it. But I'm saying you've got to start doing it intentionally. All right. So let your brain think on so many things intentionally. All right, intentionally engage yourself in stuff. In fact, some of you can give yourself that challenge that this week I want to write a book, I want to do this, I want to do that. Things that normally should have been postponed till further days or further weeks or to weeks to come. But you tell yourself, this week I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do all of them. You will be amazed that before that week is over, even if you're not able to do everything, you will have done more than you thought you could do. Why? Because you have intentionally thrown yourself into multitasking. Then number 3, or maybe number 4, is to relate with multitaskers. One of the ways that God can help you to develop your ability to multitask is by networking you with multitaskers. They can be friends, they can be senior leaders, or they can be role models. They can be people around you. All right. So make sure you engage such people. All right. One thing that some people do when they are around multitaskers is to complain. Maybe you already have a multitasker as a boss, maybe as a parent, maybe as a husband, maybe as a pastor. Instead of you complaining and saying this person is too much, he's always doing so many things at the same time, why not see that opportunity as an opportunity for you to learn how to multitask? Because when you relate with multitasker, all right, that grace rubs off on you, or I would say maybe that ability or that capacity to multitask get developed inside of you. Sometimes those multitaskers, they will give you jobs to do. So when next your boss says, Mr. Ade, do this, call this client, call this person, do this one, do that one, or your pastor say, do this, do that. Obviously, if your pastor or your boss is saying that, he is already a multitasker. That's the way he thinks. So don't say, this boss, his own is too much. Oh, this pastor, his own. No, embrace it. I know it can be a challenge, but embrace it. Don't say, pastor, I cannot do it. Don't say, boss, you want to kill me. All right, because senior leaders, they see potentials in us that we are not seeing. So rise up in that energy of demand or energy of responsibility that your boss, your pastor, or whoever it is that you are in relationship with has given you, and throw yourself into those tasks. Before you know it, you will start developing the capacity to multitask. The final thing I want to say, all right, that will help you in being a multitasker is to learn to rest your mind. Learn to rest your mind. What do I mean by this? Because if you don't get my teaching very well today, you might be thinking I'm saying your brain should be working like clock, like they say in this side of the world. No. I'm just saying that your brain already has capacity to do so many things. But one of the things that can help the brain also, or your capacity to multitask, is to put your brain to rest sometimes, or at scheduled times. While you are in the office, why not take a nap? 30 minutes, put your head on the table. All right? Because it helps to organize the brain. Some of you don't know that one of the activities that happen when you sleep is that your brain organizes itself. I'm telling you, that's why people that don't sleep well, they can't multitask well. All right? They will start having information overload. They will start, just like you have in your gadgets. It will start shutting down. May you not shut down. You start shutting down. All right? Why? No rest. So one of the things that happen when you sleep is that your brain, I'm telling you, because as you're listening to me now, your brain is gathering this information and passing across. And whatever it is you have come across today, your brain has gathered them. And what you see be passing across, going through today, your brain will still gather them. All right? So most of the time when you sleep, your brain now settles down and organize those things. So you don't have to wait till night before you understand that. When you take a nap in your office, just put your head on the table. It can just be for 5 minutes, because the idea of sleeping or resting is going to be relative to your schedule. All right, everybody should sleep normally. Sleep, doctors have their prescription for a healthy life. But I'm saying no matter how busy you are, everybody can rest. Even as a business executive, you resume office 8 a.m., you close by 6 p.m. If it is just 5 minutes, just put your brain or put your head on the table just for 5 minutes. Don't think of any other thing. Let your brain sleep, if I may use that word. Let your brain rest. At that brief moment of time or brief amount of time, your brain quickly organizes itself. And when your brain organizes itself, it will help you to multitask better and faster, because you cannot afford to be shutting down and expect to be an effective multitasker. So I want to encourage you today, as I round up just now, I want to encourage you to rise up to that ability or capacity to multitask, because your result can be better than what it is. You can live a life that is with little or no complaint. You can live a life that is devoid of frustration. You can live a life that is fulfilled. You can live a life that is effective if you can understand this principle of multitasking. Maybe I will drop this word: don't compare yourself with others. Multitask at your level. That was why I began by saying we will not all multitask at the same level. I'm a high capacity multitasker. That has been for years. So don't compare yourself to me. All right, don't say, I want to. No, just do at your level and grow. All right, and achieve the result that is possible for you at your own level. But in all, never forget that your brain has been wired to multitask, and you have got the capacity to multitask. And once you rise up to that understanding, to that consciousness, and to that responsibility, you will discover that your result will be better than what it is currently. I hope today's episode of Leaders Arise has been of help to you. Get back to me with your questions, with your comments, with your feedbacks, and don't forget to help share this stream across all your platforms. Take advantage of our resources that have been displayed on your screen, and don't forget to like and follow this page if you have not done so. Till I meet with you again on the next episode of Leaders Arise, go right there and multitask as you achieve the highest level of result. Thank you for your time. God bless you. Bye for now.